Good morning, everyone. Today, you're going to get the tutorials that you had asked me for. First, I'm going to show you how we do an iron-on to a baseball cap, both in a flat surface iron-on and in a textured iron-on. So you're going to see the two different methods. And then I'm going to take you out to my workspace where I make my jewelry, and I'm going to show you how to change your hooks from a post to hooks. So to change your earring pieces, in other words. That's what you've been asking for. If I leave anything out, please be sure to leave me questions down below. In case you haven't been here before, hi, my name is Connie, and you've just entered Connie's little corner, and doing tips and tricks is something I love to do for all my viewers and for anybody out there who might care to learn. If you haven't already, by all means, please consider subscribing to my channel. But if you enjoy what I bring you today, be sure to give me a thumbs up and share this so that everybody else can learn the same tips and tricks that I'm teaching you. So let's get started. I have this elevated up to a level that's comfortable for me to work with. So all I did was I took an upside down 4-quart saucepan, turned it upside down. I put a little bit of a protector over the top of it. You don't have to have one of these. You can throw a dish towel over it simply because this is metal and I don't want it to affect what I'm going to be using. Now, obviously, your hat is flimsy. You have to have something inside the hat to support it while you're ironing on. So I have an old domed bowl that I use, and this is a 6-cup bowl. That'll give you an idea of the size you need. But just run around your house, try to find bowls, anything that will fit. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it has to fit close enough so that when you push down with the iron, it has something solid underneath it. If you don't have a bowl, grab an old towel, stuff the dickens out of this, and then instead of having the bowl for pressure, you will have to keep a hand inside to push against what you're ironing. Don't worry if I come in and out of the picture, because this is what I want you to see. Now, with iron-ons, you can use the big house iron on a cotton setting. It should not have any steam coming out of it whatsoever. Steam is water. Water is not good for any of these iron-ons. This is your standard iron-on. This is what's called a hot fix because it already has the glue on the back. So this is the textured one. I have another fuzzy textured one. Actually, if you want to look, I have 7 hats ready to be done. I have the yellow one. The blue one is going to get this on it so that it kind of goes with the other hat. The orange one is going to get the I survived. Sassy Soul's going on the green one. The peacock is going to go on this gorgeous burgundy one. Hopefully you can see these as I'm trying to show them to you. And then the brown one is going to get I'm Just a Boss Girl. This purple one is going to be getting this gorgeous owl to bring out the colors of the purple. Okay, I have everything set up. My bowl is under. This is the little tiny iron that I use when I'm making blinged out bracelets or something along those lines. This is from my jewelry business. It's just a smaller version of a house iron. If you have one of these, I set this on medium heat. And you do have to let it warm up for a little while, okay? So it's been warmed, it's ready. I have my hat on the bowl. It's very solidly set on top of here. I will be keeping my hand on it as I press. I'm going to put my owl where I want him, which is right here. Now you're thinking this is going to be a little weird because it's curved. Well, yes, it's going to be a little weird, but it's still doable. Just make sure you don't go down any further than what that brim is, unless you intentionally want to bring it across the brim. So this is where I want it positioned. I'm going to hold it at the top, all right, just lightly with one finger, just like that. I'm going to keep my finger out of the way, and like our bigger shirt ones, we're going to start in the middle. And we're just going to press and hold. You're going to hold it for probably maybe 5 seconds. just to start heating that glue onto the hat. Move it down a little bit and hold. Now you can position it over the entire thing, and you're pressing against what's underneath, because that's where you're going to let the heat get through, and that's why I used a bowl that can go in the microwave. All right, I'm going to work it up, just jiggle it up just a little bit, really slowly, just like we did on the shirts. And you can see the top of the iron-on sticking up here. So I'm going to work its way up little by little. You have to kind of roll with it. You got to watch out for your cord. You don't want to heat your cord. So I'm making sure now that the bottom is good before I finish working my way up. And on these, it's okay if you lift your iron, because that's the best way for you to see that it is actually sticking, being that you're working on a surface that is rounded and squishy, because most of these hats are padded, and you're not working flat. In other words, you're working in a vertical position as opposed to something laying down on a table. So you can see on these, with this little iron, I can hold this for a couple of seconds longer than most people would want to on a shirt. And then now I'm going to work my way up to the top of his head. And I'm going to hold it there so the top of his head sticks down. And of course the hard plastic bowl underneath is giving me that pushback that I need to make sure that it's staying on properly. We can change the iron around now to do it this way. And that's what I like about these little mini irons. And yes, you can get these on Temu. I don't even remember where I got this one because I've had it for so many years. It even comes with a beautiful storage case and a little mini cup for water. These are perfect little travel irons if you do ever need anything like this. Temu does sell these, and I will put a link for it down below. Okay, so I'm thinking that Mr. Owl here is sufficiently pressed on. I want to double check on his tail. I'm going down here to the bottom on his tail to make sure he's firmly attached. If you don't feel your iron is hard enough, as long as you don't smell anything, you can go ahead and turn it up a little notch. All right, he's done. I'm pretty sure he's completely done, because that paper's not coming off. Now, on something like this, because his little horns are up on top, ooh, that's hot. I'm gonna let him cool for a couple minutes and set him off to the side. And now I'm gonna get ready to do the burgundy one. So I'm just gonna flip them over, or I should say change them over to a different, oh, hold on. Let's get this down over the bowl. There we go. Now, as you can imagine, we cannot iron on top of these crystals. We can't, it's never good to push the iron right on the crystals. We have to have something between the crystal. So, pull out. This is the most common thing. Yes, you can get special paper for doing crystal iron-ons or beaded iron-ons or three-dimensional iron-ons. Anything that is not smooth like the owl I just did. So if you do have something that's textured, you're going to want to put a paper over it. You do not have to expend the money for a specific bling iron-on paper. Air fryer liners. Air fryer liners are perfect because they can withstand over 500 degrees before they will burn or melt. This iron is only a little over, well, not quite 300 degrees. So because this is meant to take heat, it will give the gems the protection they need, but it'll allow the heat to go through onto the hat. So, just like before, we're going to position where we want this guy. And I was thinking that I wanted this on this side, but I like him more on this side, or perhaps even down the middle. coming on here. So I'm not quite, let's see, I think that's right about where I'm going to want it. Now, I have to make sure that I'm pushing my fingers where the crease is so that I don't expect any big gems to have to transition up the crease. Everything is going to be below the crease. So that's where I'm going to start. I've got it right where I want it. I'm going to lay the paper over it. Use my fingers to hold it in the crease. And just like we did with the owl, we're going to press down. And because I have the pan under the hat, the pan is now acting as the hard surface to heat the glue that's behind this beautiful little creature here, this peacock. So I'm going to keep that on there for a while. This may take a while to do because the heat has got to get through to it. And I can actually hear the iron heating, so to speak, which is a good thing. It's not a bad thing because it's not burning. It's just heating the hot fix. There we go. And you can hold it there until you feel comfortable, because the paper's not going to burn. The crystals are not going to be burned because they're protected. I'm holding it there for a while simply because these crystals are so thick. I want to make sure the heat thoroughly gets down into every little crack right along that seam to make sure that what's in the seam is stuck down, is glued down. So when you're doing hot fixed stones, it's one of the things you have to be very careful of. Not only protecting the stones, but making sure that the glue that's on the back of them stays on. Okay. Pretty sure the bottom is on. Yep, it's on. So now I'm going to move this to the top. Yo, those are hot. And I'm going to start on the top. And I'm going to be very careful with his neck because I can't see his neck from here. But I'm going to use the paper. And I'm going to start where I left off on the seam. Now I'm going to peek behind and make sure his neck is up. We don't want him having a broken neck. If that happens, you can just take an X-Acto knife and separate where it's bent so that you basically pull it off the hat and then put it right back on again where it belongs. And because of the gems, you typically won't notice. All right, this is going on pretty quick. Now I am holding pressure with my arm in the back of the hat, so as I'm pushing, I'm making sure that there's constant pressure between the hat, the paper, the iron-on, and the iron itself. All right, so I'm going to take a quick peek at this, see how we're doing. I do believe we are almost completely on. Yep, just a little bit more on this side. If it sticks a little bit, that's fine. That's a little bit of excess glue on the edge, and that happens with these. Better to have a little more glue than not have enough. So as you can see, I'm not worried about how long I'm holding it. It's not going to burn the hat. It's obviously not burning the paper. This is why air fryer papers are the absolute best thing to use, because you can use them over and over and over again. I've had this same piece, I don't know, probably 6 months that I keep using it for iron-ons, and it just works beautifully. All right, a little bit more. I want to make sure now that I get down into the crack, into the seam, but look, we're already on. I'm just going to do a little bit of touch-up on the one side. Make sure that that side is getting equal pressure because there is a curve in the hat, and it can't always just be completely flat. Got to make sure you get the curve. You got to make sure you get down tight. Right now I'm getting down tight into that seam where the brow is. Once this gets hot, it doesn't take long. There we go. I'm going to stop there and take a look at it. And I'm going to peel from the bottom simply because of the neck. I don't want to disrupt the neck. And I can feel some of the glue wanting to come up. But that's okay. Because as it cools, it will stick right back down again. So this, that's hot. Oh my God. Use the paper. Press with the paper if you need to. Just like anything else that has little corners, sometimes you need to put a little extra pressure for it to stick. There we go. And as this sets a little better, it'll be on there permanent. Let me turn off my little iron. So there is the gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous peacock on the brim. It's not going anywhere. It's attached. And you can see it's attached all the way down at an angle, and it makes the curve of the brim. So it's tucked tight on top and it's tucked on the bottom. That was not too hard, right? So now I have this one is done. This one we have to pull the paper off of. Start from the bottom or from the side, wherever you feel that it's going to stay, and peel up. Now I just noticed there's a little spot that didn't want to stick. So while my iron is still hot, I'm just going to put my hand behind it. And I'm just going to give it a little bit more heat. And that's the thing you will notice when you're doing an iron-on on a hat. If it doesn't stick perfectly, use the residual heat from your iron. Press it down with your hand behind it, because then your hand can make it flat. And that's all it takes. You just need to heat up those little bit of glue that might have been missed because it was on an angle. That's it. She's done. So I now have my owl hat and I have my gorgeous peacock hat. Not so bad, right? Okay. If you have any questions about this, by all means, let me know. But now we're actually going to take a walk out to my jewelry studio and I'm going to show you how to change earrings. So hold on. Okay, welcome to my jewelry studio. Take a quick look. You can see how messy it is. These are all my parts, all my pieces, all my tools. Down here is all my earrings I've been making to get ready for a show. More of my equipment, my beads. This is everything. Well, not quite everything, because I have a big tower right there with stuff in it. I have another one here with more jewelry stuff. So this is my workspace. So when I say I'm out in the garage making jewelry, it's because I'm out in the garage making jewelry. So what we're going to do, hold on, I'm just going to put this up on the stand and hopefully you'll get a good enough view. This is pieces, all sorts of earrings, as you can see, from Temu that I need to change. And I'm not going to change all of them right now, but what you need, basically 3 things. 2 needle nose pliers. I have 1 pair of mini pliers that pointed but not super large. And then I have another pair of really, really pointed pliers. All right, so one I use for gripping and the other one I use for manipulating. It's that simple. You can get both of these on Temu, and I will, of course, put the links below for you so you can get those, okay? All right, the other thing you need are earring hooks. I have them in every colors. I have copper or rose gold, whatever you want to call it. I have bright silver. I don't want them to pour out. I have bright silver. And these containers, you can get these as well on Temu. I have brass, I have bronze, I have shiny gold, and then I have regular silver. So I have 6 different colors of hooks. I don't know if you can get a set like this, but what I will do is I will look on Temu, and if I find a set, this came from my wholesale distributor, but if I find a set, I'll definitely let you know. I'm not going to be making any posts, but you can do the same if you do want to convert something from a hook to a post. You can actually buy the pieces. I don't know if you can see that. There we go. You can actually buy the pieces to make your own posts as well. So this is my cute little container over here that has all my pieces in it. All right, so what we need is obviously the hooks we want to put on, and we need the 2 pieces of pliers, and we need the pieces that we're going to work on. So the first ones, let me move some of these out of the way because I am definitely not going to do all of these. All right, these are the first ones I'm going to do because these are my favorite and I really want to wear them. These are posts. All right, I'm going to move the camera a little bit closer because I'm hoping you'll be able to see what I do down here. I will try to keep my hands in front of the camera and my face out of it. All right, let's pull these off. You can do whatever you want with the backs, but I do keep them. I have this little cup thing that all my odd pieces go into. Let me move these other ones out of the way here because I'm not going to be getting to those anytime soon. All right, this goes in the garbage. We don't need that anymore. All right, very simple. I'm used to doing this, but what you're going to do is, number one, where it connects this piece right here, the permanent piece that's part of the jewelry, you want to make sure you do not twist or bend that in any way, shape, or form. All right, so that's this little piece right here beneath the actual hook. So I take my regular pliers, excuse me, in this case, my needle nose pliers, and I grab that piece. I want to hold that piece. I want to stop it from moving. All right, so I got a good grip on that piece. I'm going to take the other piece of pliers, and I'm going to just grab what's on top and give it a little twist. And it doesn't take much because these links are not soldered. The links are open. So hold on a second. There we go. That's all there is to it. That link will now fall out and it leaves you with the blank earring. Can you see that little spot on the top there? That little hook? That's what you protected. You don't want that to break off. So again, I've got the pieces I just took off and I'll put that in there. I don't worry about saving the little rings that I take off of there. It's not necessary. So now I'm going to grab, because I want gold on this. These are primarily gold in color. If I look at the trim and the backing, they're gold. So I'm going to go to my gold rings. I'm going to grab one of my gold hooks. All right. This has a little ring on the bottom. All you're going to do with this ring is take your needle nose pliers, find the side where it's open, and if you pull that little bead out of the way, if you pull that out of the way, you can see where the opening is, where it's folded. So all you're going to want to do with this is just give it a little tiny lift, not a twist, a lift. You're going to open it up. See how it's open? All right. Make sure your hook faces the back because you don't want to put your earring on backwards. And yes, I've done that, but you know, if you can figure out how to do this, you can figure out how to do the other. Put your earring in. Hold on. Whoopsie. My fingernails are getting in the way. Put your earring on and drape it to the other side out of the way so that you can just grab your hook and bring it right back into position where it was. It's all you're going to do. And you can see how with these little needle nose pliers, it makes it possible. So there we go. We've just taken an earring from a post and turned it into a hook. This is called a French hook. This type of hook is referred to as a French hook, not a fish hook. These are fish hooks. Whoops. That one got away. Can you see the difference in the hook? Can you see how with the fish hook, it just has a little bend in the top and a little ball? Those are absolutely so dangerous to keep your earrings on because your earrings can come off. You can hold it in your hand, pull the piece open, slide it off, and you have to slide it off backwards because of that little ball. I throw these away. I don't even keep those hooks. This is silver, but it's an antique silver. It's not a bright silver. So I'm going to dig out a regular silver hook, not a super shiny silver hook. Wow, I am all thumbs today. Guys, I'm telling you. Same thing. Find where it's open. Grab that gap. Don't twist it side to side. Just lift it a little bit until you get it open just enough to fit your earring in there. All right? Slide your earring in, making sure that you know it's going to be face forward. Let it drape over the back. I usually lay it on my finger like that. Grab that piece and bring it right back down to where it was closed. Take your time. There you go. No more fish hooks. Now it's on a French hook. Okay? So I will finish up these earrings later, but thanks for joining me. I really appreciate you stopping by. All these earrings that I've been working on, these are all Temu earrings, but I will put the links to the supplies you need if you do want to change your earrings over from posts to hooks. And again, anytime you get a fish hook, which is literally just a straight hook with a ball on the end and it's open, that's a fish hook. I would highly recommend you get rid of them. These regular French hooks are so inexpensive. It's crazy. You could do every single earring that you have. Now, I do want to tell you there's a completely different method. If you have a post that is not on a hook, that is something that I would recommend you get someone like me or someone else who knows how to weld a new loop, because we actually have to use my little soldering gun and change it over. So I'm not going to go there with you guys. But for posts, there you go. So for posts that are dangly and on a little hook like this, you saw how to do that. For fish hooks, you saw how to change those over to these. You're all set. You got hats and hooks today. It doesn't get much better than that. Anyway, guys, thanks for hanging with me. I hope you learned a little bit more something from this particular tips and tricks. I do have more Temu coming for you. Probably Wednesday. I have 2 Temu sponsored bags and I have 5 or 6 regular bags, but I did want to get this done for you and catch up on some other things that I have to show you. So I hope you had a great weekend. Happy Monday. Stay hydrated. Above all else, please stay sweet. And I will catch you again in a couple of days.